Okay. So I'm here with the legend of of sail making and windsurfing and so much, in fact, and Niel Pryde. Just tell us a bit about your involvement with the RSX class.
Well, obviously the main involvement was we launched the class for the purposes of the Olympic, getting ourselves into the Olympics, which is something I've, I guess, somewhat close to my heart. Being an ex-Olympic sailor, we wanted to be part of Olympic windsurfing, and the opportunity came along when the ISAF called for proposals back in about, when was it, 2005 or something, yeah. So it was a great opportunity, so we jumped in and we were successful in getting the bid, and I must say it's been very, very satisfying to be involved with the development of the class and being out there today and seeing the thing in real life with 200 people on the water and fantastic conditions. What else can you say? It's perfect.
Oh, sure. And how many have you actually built now? Because there's several thousand around the world now, aren't there?
We're probably close to 3,000. I think I've sort of lost track of the numbers a bit. But of course we built a lot in the first introduction, because we had to populate the world, as it were, to get the class up and running in time for the Beijing Games. So it was a tough first 1 or 2 years where we had to do a lot in a very short time, and at the same time actually going through a bit of a learning curve. So that was the hard part, really. We had initially a few problems with the equipment, because we just really didn't have enough time to take the board from prototype stage to be in an Olympic class. Because of course, as soon as it was announced it was the Olympic, everybody wanted them.
Yeah, sure.
So we had to deliver big quantities very quickly, and that was tough. But once we got over that hurdle and things settled down, it's pretty sort of regular, steady business now. And we're probably doing 200 to 300 a year.
Really?
And then of course there's a lot of, the good thing about it is sales wear out.
Yeah, excellent. So that's
we do a lot of business on sales, replacement sales, and so it's good, steady business. And I think it's great for windsurfing, the sport, that we've now got a discipline in windsurfing that's bringing the sport of windsurfing back into the mainstream sailing scene, as it were. I mean, windsurfing's sort of gone off over the years and done their own thing, and what I really like about what we're doing today is that we're bringing the sport into the fold of sailing. And I think for the future of windsurfing, this is going to be very important. We want to capitalise on the infrastructure that yachting built up around the world, with the clubs, national organisations, etc. And with one design sailing like we have with the RSX, this is very doable, and we're really intending to invest actually further into the one design scene. We're going to bring out another one design class, which will be it's called an intermediate, or a stepping stone into the RX Olympic scene, a little less expensive, more popular in design and styling, and we want to actually go more heavily into developing one design sailing and windsurfing.
I see. Just tell me, I mean, obviously you mentioned there's nearly 3,000 of these built.
Yeah.
How many different countries or how many continents do you reckon they've gone into now? Because that's obviously quite important for the Olympic.
To be frank, I couldn't tell you, but I'm just watching the results out there now, and I was just quite surprised myself to see some of the countries that are up there with very good results, and countries that you don't normally associate with being at the high level of yachting. I mean, there was Cyprus. We see China, obviously now a major power in windsurfing, with winning Olympic medal. There's a lot of countries coming to sailing via windsurfing, and I think that's great.
And obviously we're holding this World Championships in Denmark. What's your opinion about the venue and the setup?
What I've seen so far is just fantastic. I would like the temperature to be a bit better, but I think that's a matter of comparison compared to where I live.
Sure, which is a bit warmer, obviously.
Well, when I left Hong Kong and to come here, I think it was 33 degrees. When I arrived here last night, it was 16, so it's half.
Yeah, fantastic. Just tell us a bit more about. So you mentioned this intermediate board. Tell us when you're hoping to bring that online.
Well, we're actually the first prototypes are on the water now, and we'll go to production the next month. But during next year, we aim to start introducing this around the world, and of course, it'll take us 1 or 2 years to really develop international status as a class. But the objective is to create a second-tier international windsurfing class, so people will have a less expensive option, and the people that want to go on and campaign seriously for the Olympics can step easily into the RSX.
So what does this boat have a name?
RS1.
RS1 with a colon.
Yeah. The family resemblance is very, very clear.
I see. So I mean, it will actually sort of look the same in terms of its body.
Very similar in look and style, but it'll be a little less expensive and a little more simple.
Yeah.
But still, it'll be a very, very good performing board, and probably a little lighter than the RSX that we have today.
Yeah.
Although you've seen already, we have a lighter version of the RSX, which we would like to introduce for Brazil, to keep up the performance a little more.
Tell us a bit about that. What do you call
we haven't got a name for that, but this sort of dates back to the Madrid ISAF conference in 2008, where the windsurfing committee there asked us to see what we could do to lighten the board up so that the class would evolve rather than become too static. So we set about that, and we've now got a board that's 3 kilos lighter, which is, that's 20%. Now that's going to change the performance dynamics of the board a lot. And we've got prototype actually here, and we'll, over the next 3 to 4 months we'll do a lot of testing. We'll have boards in the United States, here in Europe. We have them in China with the different national teams to test, and the idea is that if all goes well, we'll get the acceptance of the class and ISAF to introduce that directly after the London Olympics for Brazil. That's the game plan. The ISAF may well ask for selection trials, of course, and bring other manufacturers' boards in, but we'll certainly be in that, and we'll with a lighter RSX. I think we should be very competitive.
No, exactly. Well, so you've got a lot on your plate then, it sounds.
Yes, I think it's important we keep moving the equipment so that it's always current and relevant and it's exciting. I don't want to criticise yachting, but I think that is somewhat of the problem with a lot of the yachting classes. They become rather hidebound, as it were, and haven't moved the equipment to keep it current and exciting and modern. And I think if young people in the sport, they expect this, and we want to be on the cutting edge with our products, so that people are excited to own it and compete with it.
Brilliant. Niel Pryde, thank you very much indeed.
You're very welcome.